Hi, this is Marlene PT with the Pediatric Telehealth Coffee Hour Show. I am here with Amanda Mays Glassburner Coda and founder of Therapy BusyBox. Today, Amanda is going to share with us what prompted her to come up with this idea, how it has helped so many therapists and patients. She will share items in one of the boxes and what tips she has for therapists that have an idea and want to bring it to life like she did. There will also be a surprise drawing for a lucky member of our group that posted to her post regarding Therapy BusyBox. It's not the original drawing. No one in our group won that drawing, unfortunately, but we are going to do a drawing today where you'll get one box. This drawing is a gift from me to you, so it will include a $40 voucher to get one box. If your name is called, please message me or Amanda to redeem your gift. So Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I want to hear your story, your background, and what drew you to make Therapy BusyBox.
So I'm actually an occupational therapist assistant. I've worked in inpatient rehab and some of the school districts for the last 14 years, but most of that was inpatient rehab. I had patients over the years that really didn't know what to do with their downtime. In inpatient rehab, we have a requirement of 3 hours of therapy a day, so that leaves a lot of downtime. So I would leave kind of a homework kit in my patients' rooms, and a lot of the family members would ask me, where can I get these things? And there was never one product that I could refer them to. So that's the idea behind Therapy BusyBox, and COVID just kind of pushed me off the ledge there.
That's awesome. I love that. And how many varieties of boxes do you have? And if you could maybe share some of those items with us so everyone could see them.
Sure. I've got 2 boxes right now. I have an adult and a children's version. I'm also working on a toddler version that will be launching in September. This is the children's version that I've got here. Inside it, we usually have a sticker book and or coloring book. We have extra large tweezers. We have TheraPutty. Well, we have Play-Doh as the standard, but TheraPutty, 2 ounces of TheraPutty. It also comes with regular size and medium size clothespins. We've got bubbles. We have foam cubes. We have a latex-free version that comes with latex-free rubber bands, regular rubber bands, pom-poms. The adult version has things like nuts and bolts and the lacing activity. So it's kind of what everybody in our world kind of works with day to day anyway. It's just all in one package.
And I'd imagine, like, even with the kids version, that could be appropriate for some adults, depending, like, if their type of injury and if they have a brain injury or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had patients with strokes. I've had TBIs. I've had Parkinson's. I've had any deficit that needs to work on problem solving and hand-eye coordination and attention to task, all of those. It's useful for kind of the gamut.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. And thank you so much for sharing the contents of the box with us. But I know that some therapists, that they're not allowed to purchase over a certain amount or spend a certain amount of money on their patient per year. And I think it's like really low, like $3 or $5. So are therapists asking their families to also buy a box, or is it like certain employees or schools? Like who are you mainly seeing buying these boxes?
Well, because we're about to start school up, I've had a lot of school districts that are buying for their kids and their therapists. So I've had quite a few orders there here recently. I've also had some therapists that they do refer the parents. And so, which is very helpful whenever they're doing teletherapy. That way the kid and the clinician also have the same kind of materials, and they can kind of point to the same thing and show the kids on their screen what they're wanting them to pull from the box. So it's kind of, and I've actually had a couple of gifts as well. So I'll have people that will send it with a gift message, some for birthdays and some for, hospitalizations, things like that.
That's awesome. And I have your website pulled up, so I'm just going to read a couple of the reviews. So Kimberly W. said, this box really did have the essential fine motor supplies. I thought the button strips were a great quality. Penny D, great stuff inside this box. Great activity guide that came along. So that's awesome. You have like an activity guide if anybody needs directions or help trying to think of anything or or if a parent just goes straight to you and buys a box. I love that.
Right, right.
So there's so many reviews on here. You've helped a lot of therapists, and especially during this time with telehealth, when it does make sense for the therapist and the patient to have the same items, and makes it a lot easier. So I want to ask a little bit about your business and how you got started. So when did you launch, and how many orders have you received since then?
So I actually launched the business. The idea was 10 years ago. The idea came well before I launched. When COVID hit, I realized that now was the time to push. So March 25th was my official launch date. To date, we've had 114 sales. And that's between the button sales, the digital download, the boxes themselves. And we've actually sold 434 boxes.
That is amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been really exciting. It's kind of been a whirlwind, but it's fun. It really is.
And I know when we had messaged the other day, you had to like hire people to help you get the boxes together because of all the orders coming in. That's exciting.
Yeah, I've got a group of girlfriends that are very good at stickering and putting the boxes together now. So we had a little volunteer hour over at my house this weekend.
I love that. And so let's see, what are the top 3 tips that you have for a therapist that has an idea and doesn't know how to make it come to life?
Therapists are so intelligent. I think that the biggest suggestion that I could have is to start. That's the biggest thing. We all have had ideas in the past and you think, oh, it's probably already out there. So the first step I would say is absolutely start. Make a list of the things that you know you would need to do to be able to launch something, and prioritize those things, from marketing and shipping and product development. And there's
Oh no, we froze.
so much that goes into it. So really try to wrap your brain around all of those things, prioritize what needs to happen. It's saying my internet connection's unstable. I'm sorry. I would also say definitely contact a copyright or a trademark attorney, because some of those things either have already been an idea that's already been developed or come up with.
Okay, and yeah, we did get some frozen parts, but it still like made sense when it would unfreeze. So to make a list, prioritize, see what you need, contact a copyright attorney, see if the product already exists or if you need to get your own copyright or patent. Right. So what was an obstacle that you had developing your product, and how did you overcome it?
Honestly, because I still work full time, that's my biggest hurdle, is really trying to section out time in my day to work on the business. I'm also a newlywed, so and I have 5 nephews that come over frequently. I have 3 kids of our own between the 2 of us. So really just trying to segment my day and dedicate time to it, especially now that it's growing and growing kind of rapidly. So that was the biggest thing, because you really do have to carve out the time for the marketing and for the shipping and for the product development, and then develop new products as well, because that's the biggest struggle is carving out the time.
Mm-hmm. And we did freeze a little bit, but I think you were saying also carving out time to develop new products and new boxes, right? And what are your top resources that you use to help you reach your goals, or your favorite podcasts, books, your mentors?
So I dove into the Dave Ramsey world years ago. He is a financial coach who talks about starting and living your life debt free. So he also has a personality on his team named Christy Wright, and she promotes and works with women creating their own businesses. And so she had a book out called Business Boutique that really kind of lays a step-by-step guide out for you in her book that kind of helps you to lay the groundwork, the foundation, and to really see how you can actually put your thought into fruition. So those are the big ones. He also has a podcast called Entre Leadership, and it's just talking about leading from the front, because at some point, I'm hoping this business will evolve into where I do have employees. And so how to do that strategically and debt-free.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And I have another question, because I've read this in different books about when you're a businesswoman or successful, and you're trying to make time in your day. So what time do you wake up in the morning?
So if you'd asked me that, I'd say probably 6 months ago, my answer would have been very different. But nowadays it's probably 4:30 or so.
Okay, yeah, that's what I've heard. Like, if you want to get stuff done, you have to wake up early, to.
Right. Well, because, my full-time hours are dedicated to work, and then my time at home is dedicated to my husband and to the family that's there. So, yeah, if you want to be selfish while everybody else is sleeping.
Exactly, yes. Good. And I'm sure, a single person without kids, they could probably wake up later and get stuff done. But yeah, when you have your full-time job and kids and other things going on. So for everyone listening, if you have a product you want to make and you have other responsibilities, wake up early.
It can be done. You just have to sacrifice sleep.
Yes. And then, it's time for the drawing now. So I wrote down all the names of everybody that posted. Oops, my earphones almost fell out. I wrote down everybody's name that posted on your your post. So I'm just gonna mix them all up and let's see who the winner is. Brandy B, Southland Physical Therapy is where she works. So Brandy, let us know so you can redeem your gift. Yay.
Hey, Brandy.
And Amanda, I always ask this with my interviews. How do you drink your coffee, or if not coffee, what you drink in the morning?
Oh, I'm bad. I don't drink coffee, but I do have Rock Stars. I've had one every day for years and years, so I double up on my caffeine.
Yeah, I like Rock Stars better than Munsters. They have like a different taste.
I know. I agree.
Well, thank you again for joining me today and talking to us about Therapy Busy Box. Is there anything else that you want to add before we end the recording?
No, that was great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.